quick. Actually doing a slightly different video. We're going to do 2 videos tonight. I know I keep saying that and I keep falling a little short, but tonight we're definitely going to do 2. I wanted to showcase 2 different companies, so we're doing a live unboxing of one of those, which is, I thought it'd be kind of cool to throw up. Got my hands on the new Jumpstart packs from Magic Gathering. So those just came out within the last week and a half, and I wanted to do a couple of packs, go over them, do a little review of them. We got 8 packs here that we're going to be unboxing, so that's going to be pretty cool. And I figured I'd give you guys a little primer on what Jumpstart is, what the whole set's all about, which, like I said, is a pretty cool idea. It's kind of the first time that Magic ever did that. This video will probably be a little bit shorter, and then we're going to do a longer live stream where I'm going to review some Mantic products also, which I have plenty of it involved. And then I will get back to doing some painting. I actually can review some of the painting I was doing. I was doing some scenic painting earlier today, so we'll do some tabletop stuff. But for folks that don't know what Jumpstart is a new drafting set for Magic. Now, obviously, what's kind of cool about Jumpstart is that this is like one of the most ideal things to play Magic with. It would be really cool to draft as well. And you know, I think this was really meant to be a pretty big event pack. But of course now, if you have not known, Magic has actually suspended all of their live events. Is suspending the events that they can do. So they can't. They're not, even if a store would open and have folks at it, they can't schedule their normal live Magic events that they would be doing normally. So they have put the garbage a little bit on those events. But what was kind of cool is they came out with the set Jumpstart. So the idea behind Jumpstart is that there are some deck tropes or deck types that a lot of folks in Magic play. Goblins, elves, dogs have now become a deck. But like themed decks where you play a certain type of creature or a certain type of card. And the idea behind Jumpstart is that a player would buy 2 of these packs, and they make, essentially, they make, well, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, you buy 2, it's like playing a mini Magic game, essentially. And Jumpstart, you would buy 2, so players would buy 2 of these, you'd put the 2 together, you'd have a deck, and you play. Now each pack contains 20 cards, so they're making tournament 40-card decks essentially. Now what they did was, I believe there are 3 packs per deck, so altogether you would end up with a 60-card deck if you parse them out for the actual decks that they're supposed to be part of, because of the way they parsed it out. But the fun part about it is that, of course, because they are random, you could be grabbing 2 Jumpstart packs, and maybe you get goblins and dogs, and so you have this really crazy draft deck that now, of course, you and a friend can play. I think the thought behind her, like I said, was to make very wild, nutty event decks, and making really cool events out of this. But of course, because of COVID, we have no events, so they just are really cool things to buy now. They have reprinted a lot of interesting cards in here, so there are a lot of value grabs in these packs. And again, it is, like I said, 20 booster card packs. So for $10, you're getting 20 boosters, but there's rares, there's other cards in here. So I grabbed 8 of them. We're going to take a look. My goal is to keep them separated because I want to do not only this first look, first impression video, but I also want to do some other games where we play different combinations, you know, sort of testing out what would happen if you got certain things and how your deck would work. And again, the idea is that you would buy 2 of these in an event, or 2 of them, and then your friend would buy 2 of them, and that's what you'd play with, and that's what you'd go after. So without further ado, let's get in here. But like I said, I grabbed 8 packs now. These packs normally retail for $10 a pack. I bought these at my local gaming store, so I want a big shout out to Undiscovered Realms if you're in the New York area. And you want to check them out, you can look them up. You can also go jump online. They have a great website and a really easy way to order and pick up stuff. So they have Jumpstart packs. They have them available. And without further ado, let's open some up and see what we got. So like I said, pretty hefty pack, pretty thick. Lot of stuff going on in here. Interesting. So, fun note, without spoiling anything, so they're actually they are sealed inside in the pack. So they are not. Okay, so I guess there's a. That's interesting. So we're greeted by this card, which just says Rainbow. So is this in fact a rainbow deck? Oh boy. So let's see what we get in this pack. I'm intrigued. Because I was under the impression that these were themed. So, like color themed. But maybe they have one. Maybe they have a deck that's. Is it all. Oh my god, it's all multi. Oh, so it is all multicolored. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, so there's like a lot of themed cards in here. Okay. Interesting. Alright, so I'll show you guys what we got. I'm going to do it in reverse just to... It's actually pretty cool. Alright, let's do that. Let's see how this unfolds. Okay. We're going to go the opposite way. So I'm going to go the opposite way. Oh, jeez. Because that goes commons. This is such a weird way to play Magic. Alright, so you start out with some basic lands. So it looks like out of 20 cards, it's interesting. There's only a fourth of its land. So I'm thinking like, so I feel like if you were to get this pack plus another pack, I don't know if you'd have a very good deck. Alright, so we have Price Smite, and it's add one mana of any color. So this is kind of a way to help you get out of mana trouble. Skidding Surveyor. When Skidding Surveyor enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card. Reveal it. This is going to help you ramp up and get some more land. Reputer Spire. Reputer Spire enters the battlefield tapped. Reputer Spire enters the battlefield. Sacrifice it unless you pay one colorless. Add one mana. So, not a bad card. Get you something that's going to give you rainbow mana. When Prophetic Prism enters the battlefield, draw a card. Right. So they have a lot of add one to your mana. You can flash cost this. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little off camera. Enchanted creature can attack or block, and its activated ability can't be activated. So this just shuts down a creature. That's actually a really good card. Terraformic Expansion. Sacrifice Terraformic Expansion. Search your library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped and shuffle your library. So this is just a search for land. Target creature gets +4, -4 until end of turn. Yeah, they're always good. So let's add one color mana. Alright, so now we get into our uncommons and rares. So we have Ironroot Warlord, Tree Soldier. Ironroot Warlord power is equal to the number of creatures in your control. You can tap quite a bit of mana. Create a +1/+1 white soldier, which is not bad. But again, because this is a weird construct deck, sort of, I don't know if you really have what you need to do that. Ragesaur. Whenever Raging Ragesaur attacks, it deals 1 damage to any target. That's actually a pretty decent card. Now, I think that's the Jumpstart logo. Miadorn's Core. Put charge counter on mana core. Remove a charge counter from... Yep, so it's an add mana land. We just have Fusion Elemental, which is just a really rainbow-colored creature that's just an 8/8. Which is interesting. Yeah, I remember this guy. When Horror enters the battlefield, return target permanent to its owner's hand. That player discards a card. Actually, not that bad for the color that it is, because you can do some nice decks with that. Chamber Sentry. Chamber Sentry enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. X, remove counters from Chamber. It deals X damage to any target. Return Chamber Sentry from the graveyard to your hand. That's a really cool card. That's actually pretty cool for a rainbow deck or a commander situation. That's kind of cool. And this is an oldie but a goodie. Maelstrom Archangel. Flying, whenever Maelstrom Archangel deals combat damage to a player, you may cast a spell from your hand without paying its mana casting cost. Great card. Really, really cool card. Great commander card. Great everything card. Yeah, so it looks like this is telling you the deck that you got. So that's kind of cool. So like I was saying before, this is really handy because I can keep that as the separator, so I keep all the decks together. Because like I said, you have multiple parts of each deck. So I think eventually you can make all of the decks, which is kind of interesting as well. Alright. So we got Reanimated, which is a black-centric deck. So it shows you the mana of what we're going to get. Now, I'm going to guess the black deck is probably really powerful. We're going to see. But I like that because you can keep them together and then you can play. Because we're going to play that game of like, hey, if you randomly drafted this. Okay, oops. Okay. Ooh. Okay. You got some throwback cards in this deck. And this will be interesting. Okay, whoops. So it's not always true that they're... Okay, that makes more sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That makes sense for a deck. So we start off with 7 land, not too eventful. That's it. So we have Thriving Moor. Thriving Moor enters the battlefield tapped. As Thriving Moor enters the battlefield, choose a color other than black. Of the chosen color. That's kind of cool. We have Maesmic Mummy, Zombie Jackal. Whenever Maesmic Mummy enters the battlefield, each player discards a card. So that's kind of cool if you bring them back, because again, the whole idea of the deck is reanimating. You draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, then mill 2 cards. Interesting. Let's draw a card that also mills you. Exhume. Each player puts a creature card from their graveyard onto the battlefield. So that's one of your reanimate cards. Crow of Dark Tidings. Flying. When Crow of Dark Tidings enters the battlefield or dies, mill 2 cards. Put the top 2 cards of your library into the graveyard. Raise again. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's a big casting cost. It's 5 casting costs to do that. So this is not... I'm not really liking this reanimate deck. Crypt Lurker. The Crypt Lurker enters the battlefield. You may sacrifice a creature to discard a creature card. If you do, draw a card. When Crypt Lurker enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature or discard a creature card. If you do, draw a card. Interesting. Destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 3 or less. That's a pretty good card. And that starts... That was our first uncommon. Then we have Gormand. Gormand. As an additional casting cost, this spell, sacrifice creature, flying, trample, enters battlefield. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. That is pretty dope. That is not that bad. I mean, again, it's 6 mana, not too bad. It's 5/5. It's black. You do have to sacrifice a creature, but you make others sacrifice creatures. That's not that bad of a card. Zombie Infestation. Discard 2 cards. Create create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So yeah, so that's an enchantment. It sticks around and you just discard cards. Morin Mir Triton. Zombie Merfolk. Death Touch. I always like Death Touch on a creature. Always fun. When Mir enters the battlefield, mill 2 cards. And then our rare, we have 2 rares for this pack, is Scourge of the Nel Toth. Flying, you may cast Scourge of the Nel Toth from your graveyard by paying 2 black. and sacrificing 2 creatures rather than paying its mana cost. Well, that's kind of crazy, so it just keeps coming back. That's actually pretty dope. I like the coming back part. It's not the greatest creature, though. Grave Waker. So 6 mana, Bird Spirit, flying. For 7 mana, return target creature. Yeah. Alright, so reanimate deck. Again, not... Okay. I mean, there are money cards, so like from a collecting standpoint, the jump starts are interesting because there are very high-powered cards in there. But as you can see, very much don't know what you're going to get. But, so it becomes a game of also playing the cards. Alright, spellcasting. This is a red deck. So I have yet to get the Goblin deck or the Elf deck, which I think the Elf deck is where it's at. I think everybody wants the Elf deck. And I will say, just from the look of these decks, they are not all created equal. It seems like if you get a mono deck, they always start you with 7 land. Interesting. So you have Thriving Bluff. Thriving Bluff enters the battlefield tap. Thriving enters the battlefield. So this is another one of those. It's going to tap for the color red and another mana that you choose. Thermo Alchemist. He's got Defender which is the updated wall ability. You can tap him. 1 damage to each opponent. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell. Alright, interesting. So you can tap him to do the damage, and then a spell makes him untap. Interesting card. Prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1. That's kind of cool for red. So that's a cool draft card. That would definitely be something I would draft in a red deck. Killing Fiend. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, the fiend gets +3 curses at the end of the turn. So there's a lot of... That's why they're calling it spellcasting. You have like creatures that pump up when you do spellcasting. Hungry Flames. Hungry Flames deals 3 damage to target creature and 2 damage to target player. Planeswalker. So I like that. I always like something that does a lot of damage. Again, 3 mana output for 5 damage. Not bad. Thrill of Possibility. As an additional casting cost to the spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards. Shock. Shock deals 2 damage to any target. Again, that was the updated... Shock was the updated Fireball, because Fireball was too powerful back in the day. So they made a lot of cards like that. Shock was a favorite. Crash Through. Creatures you control gain trample until end of turn. That's a really good sorcery for only 1 mana. That is a cool surprise. Well, again, it's a sorcery, so you have to know that you can get it off. So I got our first uncommon. Heatfire Immortal. He's got the Prowess. So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, he's going to get the +1/+1. Sacrifice to Immortal. It deals damage equal to the power to target creature or planeswalker, so you can do direct damage power if you sacrifice him. Pretty cool. Kinetic Augur. It's got Trample. Kinetic power is equal to the number of instants and sorceries casted in your graveyard. That's kind of cool for a red deck. When it enters the battlefield, discard up to 2 cards and draw that many cards. So she also gets you the card cycle. Pretty cool. Chandra's Pyroling. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, Chandra's Pyroling gets +1/+0 and gains double strike until end of turn. So it's another conditional. If you throw out stuff, you get some more stuff. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. Double cast. They reprinted double cast? That's pretty cool. And then we did get a mythic in this one, which is Molting Gray. Immortal Gray deals X damage to each creature and planeswalker you control, where X is the number of instants and sorcery cards in your graveyard. That's pretty cool. Again, 6 mana. So you're thinking what? You're probably going to get well, that's not that great of a card, because if you think about it, again, unless you truly can get that many instants and sorceries off, because again, remember with the jumpstart stuff, the whole idea is that we would have opened a pack, and we would have gotten like this and this, and that would have been the two cards that the two sides of the deck we played. So it's kind of an interesting idea of Magic. Alright, so now we might be into something fun. So next one we got was Predatory. So now we're getting into, and that's a green deck. So this is green specific. So I wonder if this is, I'm wondering if the folks online are giving them names based on what's in them rather than what they're called. Because so far, it's interesting to me, but I guess because I know. So I think we're getting the not so great decks in the box so far. Unless the rainbow one seemed pretty cool. Okay, it's a weird deck. So, interestingly enough, the green deck actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 6 mana in it. Which is interesting since green is a ramp up. Time to feed. Choose the target creature an opponent controls. When that creature dies this turn, you gain 3 life. Target creature you control fights. Target creature you control fights that creature. So that's kind of cool. You can call out the fight and you get some life if you kill it. This is another one of the lands that adds another mana that you pick, so it taps for the mana, the green mana, and that. Sylvia, Birthstrider, creature, when Birthstrider enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. So again, it seems like the life gaining, which is weird, it's called Predatory. So, Dawn Trader Elk, sacrifice Dawn Trader Elk, your library, search your library for a basic land, put into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Crushing Canopy. Choose 1, destroy target creature with flying. Sorry guys, I'm not showing you. Destroy target enchantment. So always nice to have a card that kills an enchantment. Sabertooth Mauler. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Sabertooth Mauler and untap. At the beginning of your turn, end step, if a creature died, oh, that's kind of cool. Not a terrible card. Alright, let's see. Truffle Snout. When Truffle Snout enters the battlefield, choose 1. Put a +1/+1 counter on Truffle Snout, or you gain 4 life. I like cards like that. I like when there's utility to a card. Alright, first uncommon. When Bridal Shoot dies, create a +3/3. Oh, that's cool. I like a 1/1 that pops out to be a 3/3. That's a cool card. Yeah, I remember this card. Irresistible Prey. Target creature must be blocked this turn if able. Draw a card. Yeah, so it's the oh, you gotta block my guy card. This is from a newer, I think this is from the recent set. Affectionate Indrik. When Affectionate Indrik enters the battlefield, you may have it fight target creature you don't control. Oh, that's kind of cool. So it instantly fights. Okay, I guess that's, now we're seeing the predatory part. Fungal Rebirth. Return target permanent card from your graveyard into your hand. If a creature died this turn, create 2 +1/+1 green Sporling creature tokens. Not terrible. And Ravenous Baleth is one of our rares. Sacrifice a beast, you gain 4 life. Really good green card, especially for life gain. And then Momentous Fall. As an additional casting this spell, sacrifice creature, you draw cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power, then you gain life equal to its toughness. Really, really cool card. Definitely can have a lot of fun depending on the creature that you pick. So that was the Predatory deck. So again, for folks that are joining us, we are opening up 8 of the Jumpstart packs so far. You can see a little bit. We got the Predatory deck. We got the Rebirth deck. We got the Rainbow deck, which I would say out of all of them, probably the Rainbow deck was the most maybe value for the cards we got, and the Spellcaster deck. And again, if you're not familiar with Jumpstart, the whole idea is that a player would buy 2 of these packs. Each pack is a 20 card booster. That you both buy 2, you shove it together, you have a 40 card draft deck, and you play. So it is fun because you obviously can get a lot of really crazy matches. They give you enough land, they give you enough cards, and there are decent cards in there, so you have a foot level playing field. Ooh. So next pack up, we got Feathered Friends. So we're going to see what this is. I'm kind of bummed I haven't gotten the that's right, I only bought 6 packs. I didn't get the elves or goblins, which is what I really wanted out of this, because I am an elf and goblin player, although I have quite a lot of elf and goblins, so maybe it is better that I am getting these things. Although a lot of the cards that are reprinted in these, I actually have the original cards. What's interesting about these packs too, okay, and again, I should have said that Feathered Friends is a white only deck, so it's the only color you're going to find in this deck. So they give, it seems like the average is when you have a single color, they give you 7 lands. So if you're thinking about packs, you have 20 cards in there, so 7 of them are usually land, because you need about that to play, and that makes about sense, because most of the time you want to have a third of your deck lands, a third of your deck creatures, a third of your deck sorcery, so they're kind of following that mechanical math, sort of. Celestial Enforcer, attack target creature, activate this ability only if you control a creature with flying. Again, we got another one of the lands that we pick another mana, another land type, and it taps for both that. It comes into play tap. Basically, every deck we've done has one of those. Tandem Tactics. Up to 2 target creatures each get +1/+2 until end of turn, and you gain 2 life. Alright, our first Feathered Friend. The Hawk, flying, lifelink. Not bad. It's a weenie with lifelink. Can't beat that. Peg you on the first turn, gain some life. Gale Swooper, flying. When Gale Swooper enters battlefield, target creature gains flying until end of turn. That's pretty cool. He upsets somebody else. Again, 4 casting cost for a 3/2. Not too bad. Again, it's a common, so it's kind of what you expect. Swift Response, destroy target tapped creature. Love cards like this. White has a lot of them, usually. Warded Battlements. It's a wall. Defender, attacking creature you control get +1/+0. That's pretty cool. I like a wall that buffs up other creatures. That's cool. It's a cool wall. I actually might use that wall in a EDH deck that I have. Concordia Pegasus, creature Pegasus, flying. Alright, so our first uncommon. Sky Tether, enchant aura, enchanted creature. Enchanted creature has defender and loses flying. So that's pretty good. And nullifies a creature, not bad. Falcon Adept. Whenever Falcon Adept attacks, create a +1/+1 white bird creature token with flying. That's tapped and attacking. Not bad. Evan Gagglemaster. Alright, so I think this is where we start to get into some fun. Because that's, I think some of these cards are spoof cards, which is kind of funny. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life for each creature you control with flying. It's kind of funny. Angelic Ascension. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Its controller creates a 4/4 white angel creature token. Okay. So I guess you would exile your own creature, maybe, to get the 4/4 flying. I would probably do that. Steel Plum Marshal. And these are a rare for the pack. Flying. Whenever Steel Plum Marshal attacks, other attacking creatures you control with flying get +. Wow. That's kind of interesting. Okay. Yeah, so far I still think that the rainbow deck was the best deck that I got. So let's see what our last deck is all about. That's awesome, dude. I was gonna say my favorite type of deck, and I do have a dragon deck. I have made one, which is kind of disgusting. It's a dragon deck. It's a legacy deck. It actually gets dragons out on the 4th turn, so you get hit with a bunch of dragons. But they made a dragon deck. All right, so Jumpstart is like a lot of deck types. It's not as few as I thought. I was just going to say, is he in here? Because that's the card. Okay. Okay, interesting. So, for this one, you actually get 8 mana in this deck. And I have a funny feeling why, because they don't have a lot to decrease the casting cost. So, Thriving Bluff, which actually we got one of those in the Spellcaster deck. Same card. Lightning Striker. It's a dragon that's only 5, because typically dragons are 6. Flying Trample Haste. At the beginning of your end step, Lightning Striker's owner shuffles it into their library. So he's a one-time hit dragon. You get him out, you take a hit, and he goes back in. It's interesting. Dragon Hatchling. Dragon Hatchling gets plus until end of turn. See, this is a pump up, and your weenie for this deck so far. Create 2 1/1 red goblin creatures. Interesting. Dragon Fodder. That's actually pretty funny. I've never seen that card. Oh, sorry guys for hitting the camera. Breath of Dragonfire. Bathe in Dragonfire. Bathe in Dragonfire deals 4 damage to target creature. 3 mana for 4. Not bad. But it's a sorcery, so it's not an intro. Thrill of Possibilities. As an additional casting cost to this spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards. Alright. Now, I know this card very well. I have multiples of them. It's our first uncommon. Dragon Speak Shaman. Dragon spells you cast cost 2 less, colorless. I use this card all the time. This is in my dragon deck. It's a staple of it. Big, handy thing, so you can get maybe 2 of those out. Draconic Roar. As an additional cast as a spell, you may reveal a dragon card from your hand. Draconic Roar deals 3 damage to target creature. If you revealed a dragon card or controlled dragons as you cast a spell, Draconic deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. So not only do you hit, that's pretty cool. So you hit 2 people. This, I might actually need a playset of these. I would put these in my dragon deck. That's actually pretty cool. Rapacious Dragon. Flying Rapacious Dragon enters the battlefield. Create 2 treasure tokens. They're artifacts with sacrifice this artifact. Add 1 mana already. A color to the battlefield. That's pretty cool. So he's a dragon that throws out more mana. That's intriguing. It's a really weird card. Dragon Idol. As long as you control a dragon, Dragon Idol gets +1/+1 and has flying and trample. Oh my god. I need more of these. I want these in my dragon deck. That's insane. That's a really good card. 4 colorless, it's a 3/3, and if you do it, obviously it's very specific. You have to play a dragon deck. But that's kind of dirty pool. Hellkite, Punisher, Dragon. Yep, it's just a pump-up dragon, and then we got our typical larger casting, so 7 casting costs for that dragon. But pretty formidable dragon. Now this is what I'm intrigued by. So we did get a mythic in this one. You guys will notice it's the 21 core set. So it looks like they're putting the core set rares in these Jumpstart packs. They're also mixing in some flavor of some of the older sets, which is interesting. But Terror of the Peaks. By the way, artwork for that dragon looks stunning. It's awesome. Flying. Spells your opponent casts that target Terror of the Peaks costs an additional... Oh my god. So, if you target it with spells, you gotta take 3 damage. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power. Okay. Wait, what? So let me get this straight. Oh, this dragon is totally going over my dragon deck. Oh my god, this dragon is insane. I need more of this dragon. Which, the good news is it's a well, no, actually, this is probably going to be a played card because you don't have to control dragons to use this card. You just need other creatures. So not only is it possibly going to hurt you to get rid of him or to do things to him, whenever another creature enters the battlefield, your control, Terror of the Peak deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So he channels the damage of other creatures to a target you choose. Wait, what? Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peak deals damage equal to the creature. Yeah, so you get direct damage rights when you have this dragon. That's yeah. So you can put this in a green and red deck. God bless everybody. You can do so much damage to people with this card. It is not even funny anymore. Wow. All right. So, I mean, so obviously, in my packs, I would assume, if we were to mix Spellcaster and Dragons, that might work out well. If I don't know what else would have worked out well. I mean, I feel like if you got this with any of the other decks, I don't know if you'd actually do well, because Rainbow, actually. Let's look at Rainbow again. Actually, if you got the dragons with Rainbow, actually, these would be the two that I'd want to do. 100%. So if I had a vote right now, if I were to get 2 of these packs. And again, I'll try to put them all on camera so you guys can see all of them. But we opened up 6 Jumpstart packs. Yeah, okay, so I'll have to narrate them. But, or maybe I would do the green. No. I would say the best spot I want to be in is probably getting those 2. So if I would have gotten those 2 packs, I think those mix would make an amazing deck. Or these 2. Because this would give you additional damage stuff. Because you don't really have that. Because the whole idea of this one is that you're just hitting with damage and instants and stuff. But this would be nice to have that direct damage. No, I guess actually this wouldn't be good. Probably the Spellcaster deck you'd want to do with the white. Actually, the white and the red might not be bad. The white and the red actually might not be too terrible. Because you have enhancer cards in here. So I might vote for the white and the... And then everything just has flying. And it just would become a flying fest. So maybe these 2 and these 2. Because I think these 2 would be a crazy combo. Just based on what you got. Because you have so much mana ramp up in here. And if you had this and this, you'd probably get the dragons out really, really fast. I think. But for what I was told, a lot of folks were saying, because the way it works, I think, is that each deck type, I think, has 3 decks in it. So there are 3 possible 20 card combinations you can get. And they're like the low end part of the deck, the high end. So what people have found is that they may have a game where you have like the beginning of a game, you don't really have a middle, and then you have like the end of the game. And because everybody's got a crapshoot of what they're going to get, it doesn't tend to mess up the games that much. But yeah, I thought this was a lot of fun. It's a really interesting way to play Magic. I think it's kind of a fun event, quirky way to do it. What I was saying to the folks at Undiscovered Realms, which I want to thank them again for allowing me to grab some of these, and in general, they are very cool. If you don't know who they are, you can check them out. Go online, just search Undiscovered Realms. They do shipping, they do orders online, they can ship out. But they have a ton of great Magic products, they have a ton of great games. Pretty much all the games that I feature on the channel, I get through there. But I'll be doing, like I said, some other games and things around this. Man, I don't know why you guys are getting such a red picture. But anyway, I'll be doing some other videos where I haven't really landed the plane on how I'm going to do the videos yet, but I think the way we're going to do them is maybe I'll mix and match, like pretend if I were to get 2 packs, because again, with Jumpstart, you're supposed to get 2 packs, shove them together, and try to play. I think I will do that. And it should be easy, because I didn't really get similar stuff. Probably the only 2 that would be hard is if I did spellcasting with dragons. So maybe I'll never do that combination, but unless I note what's in here, which they should have given you like a checklist. It would have been good if they gave you a checklist on the thing so you keep them separated. That would have been actually a good idea. But yeah, so we'll do some combo games, and maybe I'll give the deck. I'll give my friend like 2 random decks together, and then we can play. So we can do it virtually, because right now, play together, so you can't really social distance when you play Magic, so it's kind of a hard thing. But we're going to do some experiments and just see. I think I might try to nab myself a couple of more jump packs, if I can. So that's going to be pretty good. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And we were talking about it at the game store. I like this idea because it's teaching people how to play Magic on a simple level, so you don't have a ton of cards to remember. But it's also kind of teaching deck building, because you can play with the different combos and how things can line up, and it can be very interesting and exciting for a new player, to get the lay of the land and understand how that might happen. So very, very cool. Very, very intrigued to see more about this and see how we can do things. But if you enjoyed this video, please follow the channel. We're going to be doing more Magic the Gathering stuff. I'm going to do more game reviews and gameplays. We're going to do more model building and painting. So please stay tuned. Only more cool things will come. So please check it out. And like I said, if you want to know when we're live, I'm going to stop doing these videos so late. My life got a little complex before, and I'm going to be trying to do these more. I want to be doing them between the 8 and 10 range, so more people can check them out and join. So, like I said, best way to know when we're live is to follow us, and of course, come and join the conversation. Talk to us while we're playing, while we're doing stuff. Ask questions. Let us know what you think. Always good to have the audience participate. There are some links below to check out. That's both my Patreon. The Patreon helps, it's a monetary way to support us. It helps me to get the funds to get more products like this, to get the materials that I use for model building and painting and drawing, which we have videos around those topics as well. It's also how I get all the equipment, the lighting, and the things to make the video better. So all that, basically when I ask for that monetary support, it all is going to go back to the channel. You can also check out my website where you can see more of my art as an artist. And with the Patreon, you also can get access to my original comic strips, which I'll be having another strip coming out this week. And you can check out on my website both my model painting commissions and my artist commissions, which is another way to support if you want, grabbing something off the store, or contacting me for a commission, which I love doing crazy, awesome commissions. And you know, even in the world of gaming, if there's been, you know, I love doing mashups and crazy stuff, and you know, even if I wanted to do a commission piece of like, you know, Magic the Gathering stuff, like maybe some comedic goblin art or comedic, and I've definitely done that. You know, the sky's the limit, depending on what you want. And you know, even if you're looking to do spoof cards, I love doing spoof cards too, or alternative art for cards, and you want to print them out. I know some people do that, or like for tokens, done that too, designing different like custom tokens for folks. But anyway, please check it out. Please see what you think. Like I said, the best way to support us is simply just follow the channel. I know the monetary stuff is tough right now for a lot of folks because everybody's in a different position. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm really looking forward, like I said, to getting more of the Jumpstart stuff, because I think it's a really cool idea. And again, just for folks that are joining now, we unboxed 6 Jumpstart packs. The idea would be to buy 2, you shove them together, your friend buys 2, you shove them together, and you have a 40 card draft deck that you guys have at it and play. So, and like I said, perfect for an event, but right now you can't do any Magic events. So, but I think if I'm not mistaken, Jumpstart's on Arena as well. I think you can buy Jumpstart packs in Arena and play that way, since that's the more official way that people can play Magic now, since they've banned events in all of our stores until later on in the year. Alright, well thanks everybody, I'll see you soon, and like I said, if you like what you saw, if you like what you heard, please follow, and by all means after this video, if you tuned in at the end, go back and watch the beginning so you can see all the packs, the unboxing, and can check out more of what we were doing, and also of course check out some of the other videos on the channel for some of the other content that we produce and do, and there'll be a lot more. And I should also mention Undiscovered Realms, which is where I grabbed this. They are all on YouTube as well, so you want to definitely check them out there. So you can check out them as well. They have other content for the different products and things that they do in their store. And you can also check out me on YouTube, which is going to be focused on Modern Geek Gaming. So right now I have some Kings of War content up there, some model building content. If you're a Twitch subscriber or a Twitch follower, it's going to be similar to what you see here. The videos are the same, but moving forward, I will eventually have some Prime content on YouTube that's not on Twitch, and vice versa. So we'll have different things in different places. But if you want to subscribe to that as well, please do. All right, take care, everybody. See you very, very soon. In fact, probably going to see you in a couple of minutes, because I'll be doing another review of another product. All right, take care.